In every car person's life, there's a time when you have to look at your car and think, is it worth putting more money into it or should I sell it? And for me, that point is coming around the corner, and the main reason for that is this. And as you can see, not looking too great. This is the worst side. The other side isn't this bad, but it's bad. The amount of money to fix this by a professional is pretty high here in Norway, so if I'm going to keep this car, I need to do it myself. Whoop, slippery. So before I start building a car, I need to practice a bit, and that gives me some time to do other stuff. And a trick that every car person knows or should know is that if you put enough money into the car, you can never sell it. So that's why I think the next thing we should do is to modify the car. And one thing I should do is put lights. I haven't put lights on this car for the 12 years that I have owned it. Basically, the lights on this car is really good. But when we were up north now on our winter vacation, it was really dark, high snow edges, and on one drive we had a moose standing on the edge. Basically his head was over the edge of the road, so it came really close. So yeah, and then one of the reasons why we didn't see it, it wasn't in this car, it was in another car who had extra lights, but the lights were so low that it didn't get over the edge. So that's why I think roof lights. And I'm also going to show you other cool project that I have on the side. So let's go into the garage and I will show you what I plan to do. So before going to the garage, I just want to show you, so the reason why the lights on the Discovery works is because they are so tall, so high. So in regular cars, they're basically down here, and the difference is just huge. But I'm thinking extra lights on top will give me the sight that I want over the snow edges, so I am sure that it will be more easy to spot mooses and other wild game that comes over the road. Not sure how I'm going to mount them, but I have some options. Okay, so my mic wasn't turned on, so I have to redo all of this, but don't worry, I'm going to keep it short. Lights. So I bought lights a long time ago, and the Lightbar I bought even longer ago. I don't remember when, but I think it's like 6 years ago, probably. And this is a ProSpeed Lightbar, which you mount on the A-pillars on Discovery. The one thing that I need to check is that, can I mount the light bars on top, or do they have to be mounted underneath? I will check that out, because the clearance when driving in and out of the garage, and I need to have my car into the garage so I can fix it. Yeah, good clearance. Almost could do like Casper did on his, and put 4 of these 5-inch round ones, but that will be later. But cool. The lights, Pia, 10-inch. It's driving lights. So you get these in different versions. So you have, I think it's called fog, and then you have like 2 mid-ranges, different mid-ranges. And this is the driving lights, which is more focused. So I have 2 of these. Light is 6,000 Kelvin and 32 watts. So it only draws like 2.8 amps, I think. So not the biggest lights, but I think it's going to be a nice add. And I think later, if I can have these as center spots, I can add some corner lights as well later down the line. I have had a side project going for a long time, finding the correct switches that I want to put into the Discovery, because the Discovery is so mechanical on all the switches. You can sit like with big mittens and still push the buttons, and I want to keep that theme. So I looked online, spent a lot of hours, and I finally found in what's it called? At the breakers, I found a F150 Raptor, and on their overhead panel they have these cool switches, which is kind of the same style as the Discovery. So they have these uplifter switches, I think they call, and they are really mechanical. So just picked up parts from a Raptor, and this is a Upfitter switch, and this is the project, and this is what we need to find somewhere this can be mounted. This has been a side project. Got someone at the company that I work for to help me out to measure and figure out how they work. So I got a little video on that, so I can show you.
Jeg ser at det begynner å gå strøm her, men jeg ser ikke noe lys på 5 volt.
So we're testing with 5 volts first, and then seeing if there's light when you turn it up to 12.
And if I put my hand over, I can see there is a little bit of blue hue.
Oi.
So there is actually blue light here.
Yeah.
That turns off when the switch is on, as you all can see on the power draw as well. The switch is on, the power draw goes down. Okay. All switch is down, 0 draw, going up. So I'm drawing about 10 milliampere per. If I put it up to like 12 volts, they're beginning to shine a little bit brighter.
Yeah, so when you put one down, it should be orange.
Yeah, but like
there's a different supply.
As we see on the card,
there
are individual pins for input when the switches are on to turn on the orange light. I'm unsure if it's given plus 12 volts or ground when the switch is up to turn on the orange light.
Yeah, okay.
So that is the next question.
Yeah, thank you, Olde.
No problem.
So big question was it 5 volt or 12 volt that supply? So N is 12 volts.
It's 12 volts.
Yeah, good. Thanks. Now we just figure out the rest.
Yes.
But these are switches. Not sure if they're going to be mounted overhead, because then I need to make some big modification, or if they're going to be in the center console. But that is going to be a project for later. For the lights, there is a harness, so I think I'm going to use that just to get the lights running, because the goal is to have the lights running before we go up to up north again. You also see a battery. This is not for the Discovery, this is for the series, because I've been using a AGM battery that was meant for the Discovery on the series, so which has worked well for a series starting it. So you've seen the cold start video. If you haven't, go check it out. But now I have bought a clean starter battery for the series. And the main reason for this is that I'm not really sure of how much voltage I can get out of the alternator, which I put on at the moment. So because of the wheel issue that we had, but I will be changing this out. So this was going in series, and I'll get the AGM that fits in the Discovery secondary space, and I will put on a battery, what's it called? Intelligent battery combiner. So basically it's a way to get charge to both batteries, but also splitting up. So this is a bit smarter. It has a built-in board so you can sense the voltage on both the batteries. And it even has a combiner so that if I need to, I can push a button and the batteries get combined, and I can either start it or use a winch or hydro later if that's going to be an option. But yeah, so a lot of things going on, but basically lights. Okay, so already took off the other side. It's just basically just clips. Should be fairly easy. Should be. Don't want to break the clips. Come on, there. I think I broke one. Then you need to open the hood or the bonnet, depending on where you are from. Let's see. Slide it out. Let's see. Yeah, one clip broke for sure. We'll see if I can find new clips. I think I ordered. So the two top holes here is what we're gonna drill out and where we're gonna mount the rivet nuts and then the bar itself. We also need to drill 2 holes into the cover itself, so to match up with this. You can see already some lacquer peel here, so it's gonna be fine. So let's do the big hole first. It's you need to increase both these two to 9 millimeters. That's what I'm going to do. 9 millimeter drill. Super quick. Next one. Ooh. So the whole point of drilling holes is to put these, good fit, these rivet nuts inside there, and then we can mount. So yeah, let's do the other side. Just cleaning up the metal shavings. Oh. Using a magnet is what I found out to be the best solution for this. If you've seen my previous project, you know that I have bought a rivet gun, so I can do these jobs when I put in the gold wing, the outright gold wing. Let's see, it's been a while since I've done this, so I think the settings should be correct. Let's see. Let's get it threaded. Like so. All the way in. There we go. Should be good. Also a bit on the side, so not perfect, but it's working. Hold it straight. Next one. It's turning. I think it's coming. Yeah. Okay. I'm putting some pressure on it and turning at the same time. I think maybe I did it too hard so that the threads gets messed up. Yeah, definitely a thread issue. The thread is ruined on this. Probably used too much force. Not sure what I'm going to do there, if I'm going to change it or just use a lot of Loctite. You have some good markings here, so it should just be to drill these out. Not bad, but not great either, so more of a straight. I think it's pretty good. Just check the size. Okay, good, nice fit. Same here, I'm gonna leave it until we got the bar on, but so far so good. I'm just gonna see if I can put this on by myself. Just if I can just get these to enter the hole here. Nope. Yes. And then okay. Okay. Definitely some tension in this, like so. We can have some screws. So we need to go back and add some Loctite on there. I just want to test it. So the light's going to sit a bit higher, but you get the idea. Just going to put up the other light just to see, get a little feeling of how it looks. Okay, so bar is up. We need to take it down again, and we need to figure out where to pull the wires. So been reading up on wire sizes and such, and in one area they said it's better to have like 2 relays on the two main beams, because if one fails, you always have the other, which I find is is smart. So I was thinking I was going to pull like bigger wires to feed both lights, but I think I'm going to use the original which follow the lights. So everything is here, and the wire should be big enough for the draw. The thing is, I was going to use the switches for lights, but in Norway you have to have the driving lights, extra driving lights needs to be connected to the driving lights on the car. So I need to hook into the high beams on the car for the top. So that's what I'm going to do for the two mains. And then I'm going to have what they call working lights for the rest, which is going to be on switches inside. I also want to have a switch on the inside so that I can switch between, when I put on the high beams, I can decide if the roof lights should come up on or not. And the main reason is that since we have so much snow during the winter season, it's sometimes when you have snow, it can be really distracting when you have high beams. And I'm just gonna guess that it's gonna be really, really bad if I have the roof lights on when it's snowing. So that's why I want to be able to have the high beams on the original lights and without. So I need to have a switch inside. That leads me into what I thought will be the biggest problem, and which I have figured out now is the biggest problem, and that is getting the switch wires inside to the cabin. So usually if you're in the UK, from what I read on the forums, you will have I think it's on this side, I'm not sure which side, but you will have a free hole behind the spare. Yeah, it's going to be on this side. So you're going to have a free hole down low into the left here, behind the auxiliary, where the auxiliary battery can be. So on the left-hand drive on mine, that hole is used for the bonnet latch, so it's filled up, so it's not free. So I can push more wires through there, but that's going to ruin the seal or the grommet. So I think the only thing I can do is to drill hole in the firewall and make a new hole, but with a new grommet. Now I just considering if I should do it on this side or if I should do it on that side. So you can see the wires going up there. So maybe there's a possibility behind there. So Ooh, yeah. So as you can see, this is the passenger side on the left-hand drive, and if I start removing here, maybe there's a good way of pushing things through that. So I think remove all of this, and then we can see how it looks behind there. Okay, so with the battery out, I can see better, but I cannot see any good solutions. So you can see down here is the cable, where the cables goes through, but not really something I can see. Okay, so you see, new day in the garage, and Not much happened yesterday. I went out in the garage yesterday saying to myself, don't overthink it, just do. What did I do? I overthought it, and yeah. Ending out researching, checking out all possibilities, found out that there's a wire coming through the firewall, which is there because there was an original kit. I can put the kit number up here. So Land Rover has a kit, original one, but it's just like super expensive. I think it's 7,000 Norwegian, so probably like it's gonna cost me £500 to get that with freight and everything. So £500, yeah. So I'm just gonna leave that for now. It's an option for later, and maybe I can make my own harness, which is not too difficult, but finding the connectors is what's difficult for me at least. Okay, so plan is just use what I have. I need to put back the battery because I need to go for a drive my kids to dance, and but I'm gonna leave the bar on so we can hear if there are some new sounds. I hate whistling sounds. I cannot stand it, so hopefully it's gonna be okay. But we're gonna go for a drive. But I need to pack down this. Put in the battery. Then I have some time, and I'm gonna see if I can make this work. But I'm just already seeing if I'm going to have 2 of these, just for the 2 main beams, it already feels like it's going to be a mess. So I would like to do something else. And if I'm going to have wires as also for the auxiliary lights, yeah. Oh, that I can show you. I can show you where I want to put the auxiliary switches. Okay, so the original plan was to line them up here, but behind here there's a unit here which is in the way. So I will have to relocate the switch for the roof window. So I kind of dropped that, and looking at other places like here you can put them, but testing out, I just put this here by accident and where the coin tray is, and if it just fits like really snug. But even clips down on the on this side. So I'm thinking this could be a good options to have them, because I'm already having my hand here. I can do this without checking the switches. So I think this is a nice place to have them. So the only concern is if someone's here and then put stuff here, but I don't think that's going to be a major issue. You already have these here, and this has never been an issue. So I'm thinking here for all the auxiliary lights or auxiliary driving lights, I will say work lights, to be on the legal side. I've been in the garage basically all day except for lunch, and I haven't gotten anything done other than research. So getting stuck again. I think I've figured out how to wire everything, but the problem is I don't know if the signal wire that I want to use on the original wires or the connections to the junction box in the motor in the engine bay, I don't know if it wants positive or negative. So can see the connection down here in the green plug. So I marked it with some black here. So this pin number 13 here that you can insert, and I'm not sure if it wants positive or negative, but when you do that and you turn it on in the ECU, it will start switching on the wires in the engine bay. So I just need to figure out what this needs, and then I can hook it up with my own switches. So that is what's stopping me from going on further. I read everything that I can, tried to read the wire diagrams, but I need help with that. I could probably connect everything and then check between here and ground or the pin, but I cannot reach it. So I'm not really sure what to do other than more research. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so I just visited the breakers, asked if I could come there and get some plugs, because they have a 2005 Discovery which I can get some plugs to the inside of on the harness and get just the ends, and it was fine for me to just go there and cut the leads and get the connector. So doing that tomorrow, but came out there just to look if there was somewhere on this car which has the positive or the female version of this connector. Let's see. So I'm checking the rest of the car, see if I can find it, and didn't find anything. And then I noticed in my parts area, Eric sent me this a long time ago because he had found one extra that was still in good shape, but I think it was replaced or something. I don't remember. And if you look closely, this is the perfect connector. It's the same connector, or not the same, but the opposite version. And I've been looking for this so long. I spent so much time on this, finding the right connectors, trying to find the pins which goes into the connectors. So doing a lot of research. So I figure out the best way is just to go and find old disco that is going to be broken down, and then just salvage the parts that I need. So doing that tomorrow. Now I found this plug which I can use here, so getting closer to using the original one. So bad. When an idea gets in my head, I need to figure out how it works, and I need to fix it. So yeah, but I spend so much time. This is just turned into a major project, not on the practical side, but on the learning and figuring things out side. So I've been spending weeks, basically. But yeah, continue tomorrow. Then yeah, see how this goes. So it's happening, drilling hole in the bulkhead for the first time. Okay, so made a hole in firewall, and yeah, it's not pretty, but it will work. And I got this 7-line cable, which is I'm going to push through, and this is going to be my signal cable. I don't need all of them, but for future switching I'm going to just use this cable. And also using this kind of cable, you have some proper insulation when it goes through the firewall. So I'm just going to check that it goes through. Let's see. So this signal cable will go into the car and up to the switch panel, and I think I will put all the relays and stuff in here for now, but I would like to use the original placing for some of the lights. So still waiting on getting the connections, because I was also at the scrapyard, and there was a Volvo on top of the Discovery that I was going to go into, so I didn't want to do that. So he's going to rearrange and then let me know when the Volvo is off the Discovery, so I can go back. But in the meantime, I have fixed this. My point being that, as I mentioned before, when I get the plugs and the pins, I can use the original wires going through to signal the main driving lights. But this will be signals to all the other lights that I'm going to have on the switches. So on the driver's side, the cable is coming through the firewall. Let's see, up there. It will not go there. I will hook it up and follow the other lines, but basically it's going here and other to my passenger side, the right hand side, and I will show you that next. And here you see it coming out on the right hand side, passenger side on my car. So the switch is going to be put, let's see, so the switch is going to be put here. So you can see the cabling coming there, going through here and then up there. I will see how far. I think maybe behind here I can put the connections because there is a bit of length on the cables from the switch itself. So back here is going to be where I hook everything up, and I need to find earth, which I know is behind this kick panel down here, and I will get some positive from the driving lights over there to feed the illumination, and then I think it's starting to come together. So behind here you can hook up to the light switch and get a feed either for auto or for when the lights are on. So that will be one of the power supplies to the switches, so for the driving lights. Okay, so as you can see, I already removed some panels. These are pretty easy. It's basically just ripping them out and using a bit more force than you would like to. For this one, hold the reverse button and then pull it up with force. Remove the coin tray here with the plate. Also unscrew the parking brake, and then it should be just to pull this over. So my center one here is broken, so I'm just looking for space to pull the wire. I think I can make it work. Let's see. So you can pull this through seam here. Wait, that was not smart. Cables running. Hard to see, but the black cable's running there, down there. So we need to get this cable through to here, and then from here we can start. Behind this panel I can do all the connections that I need to do. So wires pulled through. Was able to do that pretty easy. I haven't put back this firmly. I'm just going to test it out because the switches are going to sit here in the coin tray on the side here. I'm just thinking something like like that. And it works with the wires. So I think this is going to be good. As I said, I love the switches. I haven't mounted this properly yet because I need to clean up. There was so much stuff falling down after I don't know how many years. So I'm going to clean this properly before I put it all together, and then after that I will hook it up to the signal wires going to the engine bay. Okay, so back from dinner, and yeah, did a little cleanup as I said, and now I think I'm just gonna start pulling the wires that I think that I need. And starting with, I need a good earth for the switch panel, so I'm gonna start with that. And I know behind the kick panel here on the right hand side there should be earth that I can bolt onto. Let's see. So this is held on by clips, but I have had it off before, and here you can see some good earthing spots. Just making a simple earth wire here. Let's see. Okay, earth cable. Let's see, focus. Not bad. Okay, so pulling wires and looking at the light switch. So from the original drawings from Land Rover for the original auxiliary kit, you need to hook into pin, is it 9? And 19, I'm not sure, but the two on the far corners. The point is, I was wondering why you need to have both to get signal, but basically one of them is for illumination, so that's one we're going to use for the blue light to illuminate, and the other is for signal, so just 12 volt basically. And I was thinking, why can't you use both? But apparently the left one is goes through the what is it called in English? I don't know. But the adjustment of the interior lights. So if we use that on the blue illumination, we will get the same lighting as the rest of the car, which I find is really cool. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be really original. So basically I need to hook into two of those, the red and brown, and the red and orange. So red and orange signal, red and brown is just illumination. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to use these, it's called Vago clips. Basically, it's just a way to bridge something. So I will do that here, bridge this so I can get the feed. Yeah, so I'm just going to do that for both of these, and then pull, I maybe need to pull wires first. So I'm going to pull wires from the other side and put them here, and then we can link this up. Yep. So I'm just going to do that quickly. It's not too interesting, and it's just hard to film inside the car, so I'm just going to pull the wires and then we can hook this up. Got it. Now just pull some wires. Okay, so I got some wires. The input on the switch for the blue illumination is purple. Don't have that, so I'm going with brown. and for switching power, it's yellow. So yeah, trying to stay with the theme. So I'm just gonna pull these through. So and we are through. Nice. If I have my pliers, which I don't. Okay, so the earth is already hooked up. So this is switch number 6, which is going to the general electric module later, and this was earth, not connected yet, and we have positive. So this is for switching power. So this is going to be yellow. Easy to remember. Did I get the pliers? Yes, I did. So I want to do like a junction box there or something later, but for now I want to hook this up. So use these. It doesn't make the prettiest connections, but it is solid, and afterwards I can just use the heat gun, and this will crimp. So 5 and 6. This is going to be driving light power. I hope you see everything on that. So that is driving light power. Then we have the illumination from the car. Doing this electric stuff is kind of nice on the car, like nice car or mechanical work, clean. And the only thing is that you have to be in these weird positions all the time. Let's see. Illumination. So I would like to test this out, and this is brown. Yes. So I'm hoping we can test it out before I will say it's enough for today. It would be fun to see the lights. So now we have earth. We have switch number 6, which is going to General Electric module. Then we have switching power for the number 5 and 6 switches, which is going to be driving lights. And then we have illumination. Okay, and then we still have 5 switches left, and we missing power for the other lights. What should we do there?
Now it's orange. Blue, orange.
Hey!
I can turn up the voltage a bit so you can actually see it a bit more. blue, orange.
On the first 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a all the and it's a yellow. So all it's working on.
These are more yellow.
Yeah, so they are the that you need to look into.
Okay.
But it's seemingly working now.
Okay, try and add in the next yellow wire.
Try to add the next yellow wire and see how it works then.
So there's a positive feed for the blue light, and there's a positive, 2 positives for the switch feeds.
So theoretically, no, they didn't actually.
So there's a different kind of. They don't illuminate.
No, actually they don't.
No. But those two. Okay.
We need to look further into this.
Yes.
Oh.
Huh?
It jumped out.
Okay.
So now you see.
Ah.
So it's 2 feeds to supply all the yellow lights, and you see they're almost drawing the double of amps.
Yeah.
As the blue LED. So it draws about 90 milliamps in yellow mode and about 70 milliamps in blue mode.
Yeah.
But now it's working and it's labeled for you.
So cool.
So now you have the positive battery signal out from these wires labeled 1 to 6 to your relay box.
Yeah. Just put some lights on.
Put some lights on and have some fun.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. So, let's see, service. So I'm gonna leave a little service loop here, just so be kind to the next guy, which is probably gonna be me. Illumination first, so this one. Then we need to cut the illumination wire and just splice it basically with the waggle. Yep. Just need to think. Cutting into the harness. Let's see. Be enough so I can reach it. Yes. Just put the original plug. Finally, illumination on the switches. Nice, pretty neat. So this will go back into the harness itself. So okay, then we need to do the same thing on this side. Just hook into this power. So we have 12 volt. So So this is out of the switch. Both of these are out of the switch. Yep. Good. Now we can put these back. And which way should they be? Other way. Like so. Okay. I know if you now get this connected to earth and turn on the power switch, which should have illumination in the panel, so in the switchboard. Like so. Almost look professional. So we have illumination brown, just double checking. Let me see here, illumination brown and switching power is yellow. Okay, good. Put back the retainer, like so. Switch is off. Okay, are you ready? Always scary when you hook up something. Lights. And we have some, you see the green lights. You can see the illumination is going with the switch. So cool. Okay, now in theory this shouldn't happen anything. So you see when you turn it on, this should turn yellow, but we haven't power on that. But on 5 and 6, oh, it's so cool. So no power here yet, but that makes me very happy. Let's see, focus. So no power. 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 So this is going to be main driving lights on the roof. This is going to be corner lights, I think. But basically, or roof driving lights, in the front grille driving lights, then I can have other lights on these switches. But yeah. Basically, power from there, go into here. When I switch this on, it's going to go power red wire to the central module, which is going to turn on the relay or the power for the wire in the engine panel. So we're going to pull power from that up to the roof to the driving lights. So yeah, cool. Then we will see what we will do with the rest of the switches.